All right. It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which every man heareth. They shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. And the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rekakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone who teach and rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the house of David, the men, women, and children predestined for the kingdom. Also to the few sisters out there, Shalom. Okay? This super hyperinflation is going to lead to extreme famine. Okay? And there are many different nuances, and there are many different things and events that's going to cause the super hyperinflation that lead to famine. And what happened when there's a famine? People resort to being cannibals. It's going to equal cannibalism. Okay? And right now, what you see currently taking place is an inflection of gas prices. Okay? You know, you see, there's a truck strike that's going on all around the world. A truck strike. Right? And national average gas prices, according to AAA, is $4.17, and that's expected to increase. Which means you have these trucker companies with all that consist of diesel. These truckers take diesel, and a lot of these truckers have more than one tank. A lot of these semi trucks they use have 2 fuel tanks, and just to fill up a half a tank is about $300, which means as the inflation increase, they won't be able to do the trips that they doing now. So that means that food and resources is not going to come in at the rate that it once did, and that's going to cause inflation because of lack of product. And that's why let's say for instance, the meat is going to be expensive, really, really expensive in that day. I'm talking about you literally going to be working for food. Okay? So Second Ezra 6 and 22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. That's why. The grocery stores are going to appear unsown because of the economic disaster that's going on. Truckers are quitting. It's a high demand for truckers right now because everybody's quit. Because they figure there's no point in doing it anymore. I can't even fill up my tank to even do the trip. The company doesn't spending too much money trying to fill the trucks up. And a half a tank is not gonna. A half a tank is about what? Maybe 30 gallons. Again, a lot of those truckers, they have 2 fuel tanks on it. And the companies have a certain budget. Okay, which means that a lot of these stores won't get the product at a rate that they once did, and which means the people are going to have to pay more money for the product. And we're not even talking about, you know, basically these jobs don't pay enough money to even your rent is high. You know, all the things you have to do, hey, it matters. You know, it matters. You know, your rent high, you have kids, you got a car note. So you barely can pay for these things. So imagine how much more food. People are going to be literally working to eat. All right. Verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Okay. Verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So there's going to be droughts and the lack of water, and friends are going to be fighting like enemies. The person you've been friends with for 20 and 30 years, you wait till ain't no food, and we're gonna see if they still gonna be your friend. Because a lack of food bring on desperation. So people are not going to care about friendships and family in that time. That's why they're going to fight like enemies. Okay? This is the book of 2nd Ezra, 15 and verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay? For because of their pride, the city shall be destroyed, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So times are going to be so troublous. The cities are going to be so troubled that people are going to run up in your house and to see if any goods. See if you have any goods. And it may consist of people you know. Friends, family, and relationship is not going to matter in a time where tribulation and fluctuation is increasing. When super hyperinflation is at its peak, people are not going to care about relationships. It's going to be survival of the fittest. That's the times we in now. You're not going to want to get caught leaving the grocery store with 10 bags in one hand, 10 bags in another hand. They going to case you. People are going to literally label, they're going to case you. You're going to be a target. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning. And that's what's going on, the beginning of sorrows right now. The beginning of famine and great death. Okay? The beginning of famine and great death. Okay? You go in the grocery stores, the storehouse, they're becoming empty. The storehouse is becoming empty. And great death. Look at all the people that's dying right now with what's going on. You know what's going on with that. Look how many people that, I ain't gonna say, I'm not gonna say it openly, but you know what's going on. Okay? The beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? So Ezra understood that he'll be back and he'll be living in those troublous times. He was basically shook up reading this prophecy, man, just understanding this, when the angel explained to him what was going to happen, he was shook. Behold, famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. And you see all of that is happening at one time. Famine, plagues, tribulation, and the anguish of people. That's all happening at the same time. Wars is getting ready to happen. Inflation is happening. Sedition is happening. So imagine how much more that's going to increase when people can't get food. Verse 21, let me go to, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Look what happened when that COVID-19 popped off. Everybody was getting tax breaks. It was, they had people was living off of free rent. They didn't have to go to work. They thought they was in good case. But what the scripture say, even then, what it say? Even then shall evils grow upon the earth. And look what's going on now. All right, sword, famine, and great confusion. And we're going to see more George Floyd's. We're going to see more of that increase. And that's ultimately going to lead to martial law. And once that kick in, man, it's going to be, it's going to be really, really bad out here, man. Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. Okay, this famine going to kill billions. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Now, what's the modern day sword? The gun. Okay. Certain places are passing passing laws the way you don't even have to have a gun license anymore. You don't even have to have a gun license anymore. Look at the vibration of, people riding on four-wheelers in the city, doing things that couldn't have popped off back then. But it's happening now. This place is getting out of control, so they're going to have to do what? Come with a new system. They're going to have to bring in martial law. And that's going to introduce the MOTB. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay? And the dead shall be cast out as dung. Okay? You're going to walk up the street and see dead bodies laying down now. How dung is. Dung, when you see an animal take a shit, is just out there. That's how you're going to see bodies. And the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down, man. The first thing that the military is going to do is do what? Besiege the city. That's why you're starting to see the soldiers, they slowly are creeping the soldiers in these organizations. And before you know it, they're going to be running everything. They're going to be running everything. It's going to be full-fledged martial law. Maybe another event going to happen. A major event such as 9/11. Right? And there's going to martial law. That's going to introduce martial law. And they're going to try to blame the Israelites for it. That's going to go into sedition. There should be an insurrection, a great insurrection. on the men that fear the Lord. Yep. So that's all I have on that. I want to say, call halal Yahweh Shem Hawashai. Hopefully a brother was edified. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And hey, shalom.